Feeling free fall. Suddenly reappearing after being gone. Anchoring a swell. Bottom turning to publicity. No need to worry if you can write or spell. Thunder, as a wave breaks above you and everyone around watches on. So, relying on camera angles. A moment you are here then gone. Master cylinders and chains. From trash cans to water heater in your car. Part of the hydraulic braking system for automobiles is what they are. Do not become annoyed. Cartoons, he was straight out of Felix the Cat, another threatening menace who may have to be replaced at that. At the lightest touch, with full horsepower behind it. In all-wheel drive. You can't damage the transmission. Having built-in prevention trust. Those brakes are another dimension. Self-sensing, so said to arrive. Having gone to all the extravagances building it a backup clutch. In order to affect another medium. Use an evaporating metal like mercury. The last pouring out of strange gas. A broken thermometer, don't worry. Now if and when you wake up on a strange island and become retired, don't drop it. A deadly effect could become more than you desired. Ratified by the Second Continental Congress in 1776. Independence Day or July 4th established how the new country fit. Separating 13 British colonies from Great Britain by declaration. Continuing from the American Revolution to this day with our nation.
Waking early the next day, to scattered remnants of a fireworks display. As summer starts, romances. Celebration over, but memories remain. With love of warm lonely places. To the beach or desert we are away. Bring your friend. That's for real. Artificial intelligence has her brain. Maybe a more down-to-earth one. Chasing stars in some wasted ways. So it's not artificial intelligence. Whatever a feeling of floating conveys. Coming together in the rather natural trail. Happy she is, all excited. Mellowed out at least. Stick with it, Brandy. Hold on, I'll light it. Sit, be comfortable. Till landing 2 stories under. Get down with it. The chaplain screamed, sitting down on the job. Don't forget the jacket fit. A man in the middle. He is hiding out. Just watch your step there. Think for what it might stand. By itself or as posters on wallpaper. Clear till landing right. Better come around a little to the left runway. Partner will be setting down in about 10 minutes. Until landing then. Tours to the other countries. Not all that friendly, some far away. On hard tarmac after touchdown. Watch 4 hours, counting again. From here on it's a train or walk. Off to another city on short vacations. Leave it then once more. Beyond any who would expect to understand. On the last trip. Watching where we stop. Mired up in dunes of sand. Too far behind you to follow. Railway on toward new destinations.
Free memory hoax. Availability depending on energy level of electrons. Reduced to single atoms. Carbon as the fine example of crystallizations. Where a nuclear weak force works binding atoms together in chains. Taking merely a sliver, no more than a millionth of a gram remains. From the primal atom to its most simple form. What neutral race. Transporting and making this all in outer space. Where that is going, it is well guarded. Often blocking out our blogs. The illusion owing. In a manner it could also be hydrogen. In metallic liquefied state. You may pick any key for new vistas. To sway it generates gentle music. Western Europe or the Far East, remembering times and places to get. Your port call to enter in and depart. Beginning a destination unfolds. Time to rhythmic backup. Metronome accompaniment to orbitals. Never understanding or inferring for what it stood. It's enough in swing. Measuring the tone to completion. Do as they were created thing. Do it sometimes. Complete an entire string. Atomic clock's a sense. That is it. Don't fade away for good. Or seek attention in the past tense. How does it feel to the drumstick? The baton type twirl. Ready, set, go. Now down with the key. One hand following another. Triple note pedal. She will stop at any time. Meditative trance with eyes of liquid metal. Go around has it. Not following sequence. Start to stop then blow.
Way of walking in footsteps. Follow the leader. Hoping for a clear path. Even if you were to fly right. Unwritten promises are sometime broken. Guess what? It's a trap. With seemingly very clear definitions at that. In an instant your warning becomes the wittiest word ever spoken. And saying nothing good about it. Adding any reasons to promote the song. Taken for what it says. Don't cloud your own vision. Time or place best. Standing in a doorway. Your age dictating who'd finally last that long. Another day has come and gone. You are one puff closer to death. We always overeat, play most the time, and are usually afraid of work. One will become needed, all else forgotten. Perhaps just as well too. Lifting one of these could strain your back. Procrastinate, we smirk. Maybe after dinner. Here are your picks. Quickly decide what to do. Go on, wear yourself out. Not that it makes much difference in the end. Just trying to keep ahead. Social networking is wearing me out again. Why we go to this trouble is to become heard. Here is where to begin. All with a common cause. There are lists of people you may befriend. Complain all you want. As for two wrongs, they rise up in anyone's way. You might be better off on the ground. Becoming a better place to stay. In most cases do not stand for them at all. They will not make a right. Assuming when they come together, more damage falls into light.
Like the label says, people used to have to pump this from their glands. For added convenience it is now in a can. Actually, we use our hands. Because their new product wouldn't sell. And running low on recall. You can believe it now. Forever. You would never believe it at all. That's it. You're looking to be stung. Mr. Mosquito is out for blood. Back off, parasite. Never come back again. No need in their time. It's all you'll get for now. Guessed correctly that you might not bud. Sorry, we may all fade away before they do. Crying over spilt wine. Falling into that groove. The needle slides swiftly. Round old Vinyl's touch. So that's a gripe. When it comes down to that, hand me my weed sis, then what we're all complaining about. If we don't get enough of it, then it's gotten tough. We reflect on success and failure as such. Do not get the idea it is heaven. You'd have to throw in beer, it appears. We might have something for that. A hot tub complete with sculptures. You're closer with tequila, your girl, and plenty to smoke is all. Well, you are alive and not remembered. So it would be quite a ball. Well, as can be least fair to swarm. Figure it out. Which way to a store? Unbogey yellow jacket on a flower. Don't go out in the yard, shit. If it is not birds it is something else. Stand back, fly right past it. Knowing you would get away except for the aftershave you wore.
Not for the midnight writers, though. What takes one moment, you bicker. Highlighted differences in locations. On a lake, near a bay, the long stay. Defacement taking on the scattering of its rays if only a neon flicker. Waiting on opportunity and a community. To a market anyway. That is how it went. Before they put up that fence. Through all the years, Clarabelle got chopped up into hamburgers. Only to catch the instance. What the hey, anyway. Come on, get the cow out of the road, big ears. Mickey with it a little. Get the sense of surprise that this sent. Make up your mind. Go beat sense into it. Wrestling boredom more likely. War's hell, life's a bitch and peacetime oppressive. It's the last line. Hit it over the head with a hammer. That got its attention decidedly. Your problems are becoming chronic. Go on and fight this time. Not without rest and sleep. Lay down in it. Struggling becomes useless. The shape that surrounds her hip. And into the softening stomach tucks. Take a single moment then to examine the shape. In all that is trust. And forewarned only by a slender smile that wraps around her lips. Vitamins, minerals and protein. Might wonder why it came about and how. When there are none around, what can you do? Don't know, check a cow. We all like to drink. Stick to something that is alcohol for a change. Only reward you all get for roping, branding and riding the rain.
Machine intelligence, not human. Goes on indefinitely, seemingly alive. Reptilian beginnings we had. Sand castles against shoreline no lie. Seems to become what we do best. Such till tide washes it all away. Relax in meditation. with no reason to build it but the desire to play. Looks rather shabby. Certainly not our best. Finger painting, what more? One more impression. Blue note again. What comes before 5 is 4. No half steps here. As played out only in long bars. The rest is reflex. No straight lines but the frame. Made just to keep them in store. Lost in a payphone, half a century. President Roosevelt was not rubber. It had been drawing interest for 60 years. The dime was silver, not copper. The phone company refunded my phone call from 1961. A coin collector paid me $50 for my dime. Quite a sum. They were not lost in a payphone either. Not seeing change in the dark. Practice makes them good cameras too. That is why they are so smart. No other dimes. 2 of these are known, with no San Francisco mint mark. You had better get another line. A couple more cell phones to start. If you were fast enough to catch it, but did not have stuntmen to fill in. Buster Keaton, he is not acting, he is acerbating. Don't see any props, when you could not find your legs. 10 cents paid for a trolley then. His many silent movies without sound. Then came Keystone Cop.
Sinking slowly under the horizon. Guessing how long till your last one. Nothing's guaranteed absolutely. Rising and setting to beat of our sun. Mother Earth, our heavenly lasting home. You're then her daughter. Interplanetary or stellar space. Seems to float up out of the water. Products of artificial intelligence are undetected. We now deal with this. Far as scripts are off the handle. Writing is one's own psychoanalysis. Machines manufacturing your novel, monkeys, typewriters and time. And with fast enough computers, simply ask them for your next line. Like surgery in itself, surprisingly they will come up with a close rhyme. The repeated prayer of contentment, one for peace and equality then, not yet performed by robot doctors, but in cases supported by them, rolling still on metal wheels down its course. Making a slow climb. The only one to hear it is you. Don't bother where it may belong. Add a signal level's volume units. It's all strong, matching speakers. Get with the news. Run the press. Turn the followers into believers. The sun's 13 times 100 units. You know it all along. Or so to speak. Take cover then sneak up top for a good look at the boat. Seeing it in reverse. The opposite apostrophe or quote within a quote. Underwater say. Only to while away minutes. Let's go under for now. Roll to 15. Get along below. See the same thing upside anyhow.
Moving quickly until the street lights blur. Steel emotions of motor alloy. Stretch off a long highway toward a rising moon. Our roadway climbs. Driving or becoming driven within a saddened dream. Colored neon signs. Tinkering with the darkness, unending bridges with no land avoid. Pandering to our love of machinery and mechanical devices. Get over it. That's one way. You could go around or under too. So much for reflex. I only don't get hit. So much for evolution. Put your training to a test. Heading back to the grandstand. Find yourself a good place to sit. Dog part in all of us. Sitting there waiting for a treat. Your inner beast. Least it smelled good. Then what does a man know of what to eat? Best have tasters for that. If it doesn't kill him, me or you. That's got to be very good. What instinct told us. And our best friend knew. Symbiotic relationships benefit many couples. Who do nothing but fight. Ideas we catch and share. Working out what common goals may define. We do our best to get along. Problem always, keeping a partner in line. And of course he did. It's all gone. No one is sharing. Grab a bite, and save their skin. Limits on personal wealth. In so few issues they do. The question being with who. Each of us wants to run their own show. Like the Republican Party and Democrats, do not agree in sharing too. There are conflicts with government, standing over its shadow below.
The old becoming younger. Wouldn't be better for age to work in reverse. Those are our lessons then. Ones we would like to have corrected first. You can't go backward, except through memories collected in thought, put behind us until they come around again. Same event we sought. The past being lessons that are not correctable. Try to amend a blunder. Weathering sculpts everything. Still nothing escapes that progression. Once our youth is spent in time, dare say you are not getting younger. One drop at a time, or by an immense flood of thought regression. Construct legitimate paths toward your goal. Use violence only to defend. You wouldn't survive without forgiveness. Problems centered on desire. Your lessons learned once more. Making the same mistakes over again. It becomes testament to age. Happy that we become older and wiser. Feel happy for a minute, forgetting your ailments. Drinking that down too. Though it may erase some thought. There's no cure or elixir to save you. Not for the general public, but necessary to a few who are feeble. Laugh and become one. Some never do. Another spiff on old people. That shows glamour. Defining generation gaps between us. As lifetimes slip away, caught in emotion of decades stacked like paper. Time's the giver well as a taker. Count your days. Give thanks and praise. Younger ones may not get that far. People who do shall talk to you.
Reconciliation for the rest of the week. Slow transformations brought to end. In periods of time which are completely too unfathomable to comprehend. Seeking excitement to discover. For what purposes it accomplishes. The ways of subdividing time to seek. Answers making no promises. At night it's worse. On the darkened background light colors arise. It fades to black in other ways. Never to turn back. Like the screams. The dispersion of race tops. The cat's gone despite having 9 lives. Seems it's his last one. From the big litter too. Waking from the dreams. Crawling from bed. Now at the end of rest. A boost on which we depend. Alive at last in wisps of smoke. It is morning. Time for another cup of joe. Coffee hits you like a bombshell. Well-being caffeine that is mo. After a long sleepy dream we know. Turning to become awake again. Masterpieces highlight canvas in repercussions of dimly lit shadow. Great triumphant plans to adorn walls of giant galleries make their show. If in one place or spread out all over the world, there is no need to go. It is all here in front of you. For admiration to form and grow. Make your bid. As collector items sewn together streaming color grows. Textured surfaces rolling softly then with flashing highlights hammer. Seen over and over as movies. Different photography and picture shows. Imagining it as real and not a pixel display initiated by programmers.
Enjoy your smoke, don't choke. Because you never know the time we may go. Add a tax to. So that might really get to you. No one goes that far. Someone's got to pay for the roads. Enjoy life to the fullest you know. Adding words from our sponsor. Extra long brands with more tar. That's how far it is gone. Satisfying your ego in an endless set of songs. Bigger they are, the harder they fall. And shall fail to right any wrongs. Scale it down to fit within scope of another's personal understanding. Lighten the atmosphere so your request isn't too demanding. Before an unfinished short story becomes sold to some alert bidder. Expand your thoughts. Hold on to your idea so that it becomes bigger. Stumbling blocks abound before a spacious clearing ahead though. Continue to logical conclusions. Watching for more sharpened danger below. Reflection of hardship rising from compassionate shortcomings shine. Down long low corridors, often ignoring surroundings each individual time. You turned your head the other way, dismissing another's plight. Self-centeredness spent caring not for others' predicaments to right. Well and good because of the cold hard metal warning. Stay alert then. Come off being soft. It is too late. Lost not knowing where to begin. Grand predicament tossed. Never being caught. Into the last inning. There was no game. Said in a creator's sentence with no end or beginning.
You'll not do it alone. With allies, start the charge. Alone you better run. It means make friends, not enemies. Not only people, including justice. More is on your side. The cause often true. The Almighty trusts us. If you are old enough to fight your own wars, do not start one. Large and small we are copies of it. Parts of a puzzling complex game. put together, labeled as humanity. Completing visions people remember. On an island called Earth in a cosmic sea. A unique species all the same. How, when or why? Our pieces form to make a complex big picture. Element of iron as core. Question where it came. Imagine why did it begin. Grain of sand so small it's not visible. In seas around a tiny blue planet. Our galaxy, a mere drop in that ocean. Experience some humility then. Remnants of dying stars formed and reborn. Truth demands it. Cures going out to populations. Not just individuals. Effort all or nothing. Insignificance, figured in problems. Continuations of extended suffering. We are each causes having an effect. With every subject you neglect, the unsolved mysteries get worse. Those feelings you detect, each answer a new riddle. Deep in time with technology accelerating. In the end it will win. People no longer needed. The robots abating. Still we are keepers of this rock. No surprise comes as a shock. Respect it or leave. You are killing us. Looking here at what is in stock.
A vindictive group, mankind, split on ideology and beliefs. A human race. Much as we trust our lives to it, science and medicine can't keep pace. That begins at our birth, and ends in us dying. Now give it a rest. Ethnicity, government and religion have fuzzy boundaries at best. Forget it if you have perceived what we are thinking, then it is enough. Grammar is poetry's enemy. A hated correctness, corrupting meaning. An idea's inference being hindered by rules of language stemming. That you have broken someone else's rules seems all highfalutin tough. It was only anatomy before there were beatniks. That is where it fit in. Slang is a good indicator of the times in which something was written, so reading it. Thus groove became groovy along with the hippies, ascertaining the correlation to a movement back in the 1960s, tolling each change in feature. One frame to next in comic sequence then. Always the same statement. We aren't immortal and subject to mortality. Coming full circle with your emotions, but returning to slow reality. And face it, that's what he wants. To see you turn around again. Features that stand out or different. That is something we would breed. They take care of us. We their owners. How much we are like our pets. Why did you would keep them in the first place? Where loving needs another litter to spread around. Finding puppy takers beats all bets.
When it accomplishes nothing, don't even strive for it. That's a picture. Wasted time in most ways. Who cares? Why would they? Being no richer. What's normal mean when it's not? Being different tends a lot to many. A long-winded speech with too many delays. Now not forgetting any. We like to hear ourselves think out loud, even in our sleep, night and day. When it's easier to open your mouth than close it, think what you say. We're just more coherent in daytime. So give it thought then you'll. Best way to get a message across, depending on who there it fell. Answer to our question. Added to understanding truth is its own reward. To all are given but one life. Wealth is not identically that forward. Not bending the golden rule. Act toward others before they do unto you. Follow what you profess. Watch what kind of knowledge you pursue. Don't listen when people are giving away fortunes for a small oversight. There is always someone trying to sell you lies. I'd be honest, alright. What it gets is a reputation for deceit. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Do not become that blame stupid too. Don't become one when tempted by taste. Well as the arrows of Cupid. Simple baiting and laying a trap. When you find all the time it's stupid. You hoped for a prize. Turns out you were the bait. What a surprise. That used in attraction is alluring. The victim's unfortunate demise.
Some things like our own bad habits can only be treated by others' advice. You won't get to spend it, the irony. Don't put your maker to the test. Does it say money on it? Laugh out loud. Laugh yourself to death. From our own standpoint, they are hard to recognize as not nice. Facing a new day from the edge of night, morning comes as a surprise. A new realization of the same old scenery. More assessments arrive. There is no director. arriving at the same conclusion. It lacks a plot. So that is the picture-making business now. Give it all you have got. Forced to reconsider the side of the bed you woke from, look around you. Where did you place that shirt? What happened to your other shoe? Then you know it was all a dream, and you woke up in the wrong place. The room you are in isn't your own. The person in it you must now face. There isn't any place you may sit. Every seat is taken, so you must stand. Late coming in and last going out. That sad follow the crowd feeling, when every instant is taken. Looking about to get a sense of demand, about how far is it to the door, and toward it get yourself peeling. But it is not always standing around. What gets the parties rolling along? Moments run in reverse. Dancing matrices of dots on a flat plasma screen. Interested people stare about. Know anywhere it has gotten you've gone. So going back is only to some place you have been and seen.
Seem friendly, leaving a warning. Those we won't want to meet again. Still you'd rather they didn't catch up. Leaving no pleasant memory then. Taking the chase. Ghosts of present and future rising from the past. Whatever the scene, we're reminiscing of seasons gone by too fast. Take more clothes. It's winter. So getting with season or time of year. The shop business or village one's accustomed to which we would go. Still enjoy plenty and another time of greeting, sharing and cheer. Slow down to fashion the 1800s. Conservative more so. Feeling toward gratitude grow every Sunday. Try and see the picture. Everyone came to the same assumption. All of them listen to scripture. Every moment is filled with glory. So stop to wonder without doubting. Silly, we should only wait until the end of the week to make accounting. Crumbling at layers of potency until landing on perfection between the E's. Freaking everlasting good. Not available in stores. Start last week. Stuff lasted forever. Smoke it once. You'll never be the same peak. They only use it once. Discovered clear back in the 60s. With careful planning and dedication from those who work hard to keep. What did you say you want? It was under the tree while we were asleep. He is listening. Unfriendly fellow set to steal Christmas from the who, all the toys and instruments needed for fun. That between us two.
Another viewpoint related to writers, all in an effort of halting degradation, none of which are identical, seen by two people, yet on the same topic. Posterity wants a complete picture, to report on a past generation, that at least agrees on the same subject, location and logic. Valley Forge and the diaries of soldiers who fought with him. That you see, if it was the American Revolution, then it was George Washington's army. Records beating history in how they are written than related to events. Hard times to outdoors. Very lucky to have even had tents. Ripples affect big waves to minor degree. In history's courses discovers. Recording that vital to historians. In writing or other art forms depict everyday life events. In tacit hope future literates may find it. What is very common at one time is extraordinary in others. Not focusing always on that which is wholesome. Still savoring the moment. Hiding out just for a while. Taking care to explain reason put aside. In all the ways the senses explain. Seeking resolution and atonement. No one to talk to right now. No lullaby which to comfortably abide. It is just another poem, related to people we knew when it mattered at all. To the last letter, more worship than wonder. The endless, slow melody, fanning out to look at the letter, remembering which persons to call. That fits each sentence backed by my rambling thoughts, oddly.
For photography, modernism and abstraction had no room in the age. Getting it right is left to the painter. Truthful, objective and not too bold. Though sometimes relied upon in order to get paintings on one page. Middle to modern or Italian Renaissance separated new and old. Working in unison together. Gave rise to species through repeated birth. In discourse with one another eternally, Father Time and Mother Earth. Taken into account then environmental change or development drowning. An explosion of forms. Marked by diversity. Sown in surroundings. Liquid water persisting for unbelievable times relative to its host mother. Orbit for conditions to exist. Little blue marble and beach ball sized sun. Unpredictable as weather. Development of life on Earth as any other. Taken for granted as our home. We may not be the only one. An arms race that eventually would end. With gunpowder and projectile. Iron core we have turned to steel. Bits of manganese harden the blade. Molded with carbon and more. Rust-proof metal decade after decade. Don't get brave or too close now. With any opponents who are docile. Fight or flight, you got that right. Run away and live to fight another day. Don't be a dead hero over the rich people you protecting then. Follow who knows what the path is. Come around to run up behind him. Gain a big kingdom with a throne. More than a run-down home, say.
Tidal patterns from the west. A cold north swell swallows ships whole. Hidden oceans with twisted hurricanes dwell. Like thieves that stole. Island channel taking us out adrift. Life on a raft lies in front of me. Leaving the cruise to wreck. A big storm is flowing across the seas. Don't paddle too fast. Right shoulder slides for miles. The ride beseeches. Settling out in the sun. As part of January's ritual. Blast past too fast. Now be calmed and peaceful. Resting place of last typhoon to pass. Feature swell that wound up here. North to west facing beaches. To what destination not really clear. Got to get it all down. But no hurry. Bring it in. Stop to rest a moment. Now wide awake and fully alert. Ready to get going somewhere. Checked to see the hour is still early. Get to a caffeine moment. Can't help to think anyone it may hurt. Get it into 25 minutes. With room for commercials from a sponsor. On any dull day, a circle of authors get with it. Hammering out news. Go on with the music. Posting comment and caption for one to honor. A given hour. Enough stuff happens. You see previews. Don't refuse. Coming to the same conclusion. Nothing to write. Give up on typewriters. Do not become concerned for the longevity of it. Leave it to fighters. We think more clearly after awakening. Getting up after a long dream. Now replaced by a fast computer. At one time an expensive machine.
Think of any cruel elation. That it is not only someone's imagination. Starting a trendy style thing. Which drags us down into degradation. Achieving conformity and dependence on patterns stern vanity demands. In black and white however. Puppy paws beseeching an artist's hands. Known for his antics in the 50s. Under a high-flying circus ring sound. True to this red, white and blue icon. Bozo the clown, of great renown. Then you are remembered. All your worded meanings are simply half. Greatest show on earth. You explain truths by making them laugh. What is said of television's mid-century entertainment, summed as waste. With a time of relative prosperity and advancement for living and food. No war going with the United States. Only Russia's outer space race. First time families were watching that howdy doody dude on a tube. Because it all seemed to come crashing down. Successful society that is. Biology, environment and climate act together. Often the fault of men. Products of industries acting to our demise. The global warming quiz. Or incidents being acts of an almighty. One affecting another then. If artificial intelligence thinks better. It's up to us defining parameters. Nature has laws. There must be rules. Who or what's to dictate them? Singularly we haven't much pull. In fact we do it better together. Let machines control us. What's left is to prohibit individualism.
Black medium laying beneath the surface, upon which it tranquilly rests. The excitations in electric energy shells, taking in and giving off light. Space laying between them void. Detectable but undefined, a guess. Through which waves move on water. Reflection of the sun's might. We are part of a biosphere. Limited to resources of which we're dreaming. Seen between trees in the early morning breeze as evaporating mists. Stop your walk to listen. As the new day's dewdrops glisten it insists. Morning has come and our world is alive. Get behind the meaning. In merriment and wonder day progresses. No disturbing the peace at all. More to sight, imagine the sound. Like a fair melody played by winds. A remaining portion of our life begins. What is past cast to recall. Be thankful and respectful as that remainder of our lifetime begins. Our universe is a lonely place. There exists will to communicate we find. Behold the ingredients we are made of. Under stable conditions in time. Forms demanding duplication. To some advantage. So few are many. Replication the trick. Life forming an image of itself. Many from many. Waiting on the lasting stillness of quiet low lights in a tiny leaking boat. A bump beside you is nobody surprising. You are glad you brought her. Nocturnal anticipation approaches among those dependent on a cloak. Ready for darkness. Falling sunset to the noise of rushing water.
A big place and a small pack to drag around. That is much better on me. Trying to find a trail. Back to the campfire's comfort. Under the trees. Sensing how the smoke feels as it rises by on white clouded shores. Wrangling about through the cigar-filled rooms and great outdoors. An admirer establishes her sound. With the look of a good lick in any key. Enter the witnesses to our lost song. Settling any difference you see. Going back again to come around. Then identifying a new slow melody. Consecutively successful as one more progression needed actively. Only to find what is disturbing next to you. Finally coming to your seat. That was as far as it got. Discussed as a point of view, anyone knows. Grooming for the usher. To become escorted upstairs across 2 rows. Now your break has ended. Return to that enduring voice and key. Stopping benevolently at her feet. Sound of landside rolling over hills. Always some disillusionment describing the past. They got the chills. Lacking both case and evidence. His fabled lady glanced at her witness. It shall come to light. A dull moment's day testing their fitness. Eloquent remembrance of any better days. Resounding in tectonic chord. The dress she wore in gloom. Looking to see lights in the darkness burn. One sat calmly. Waiting a brush of association. Her recall to return. A people's side subconscious activity. To their recollection hoard.
Step up the melody. Calm stillness next to a single note on saxophone. One long tone in any key. The single reeded woodwind sound of brass. Matching chords in the background. To a steel string guitar in contrast. Roll of the drum beat. Thump on the bass. Best blaring quintet known. Put to rhythm and carried to a tune. The new electric results convening. Sounds heard throughout a stadium. 2 microphones and sets of lamps. What harps say to an organ keyboard. Instruments a different meaning. Hammond electric organ next to Fender Stratocasters and stack amps. Go your way till you're offbeat. Just don't forget a theme or melodic line. Acoustic filled with reverb and vibrato augmenting songs. Strong melody. Stay in there with your take. Taking into account what vocals define. Laughing sax making fun of the heavy thumping sound in parody. Smoking, drinking and getting down. Looking back, they were good times. Anything worth celebrating pushed ahead. In order to cheer it in lines. And with that the sound of laughter. Packed in small rooms toasting. What no one else could think of. If only for self-centered boasting. Finding partners who let you understand the reasons for living are about. The floor beneath your feet coming up to meet you. Get rhythm flowing. Pulled to a level. One to the next. Contrasting faces shouting out. On your hands and knees. To one another. Then all the time knowing.
Life's a quick burn. Hiding from the draft board. Unique person that sings. Emotional fit in front of audiences. In recollection of screaming things. Instant American success story. To become torn to pieces once more. Floating above backgrounds of hard times. What life has in store. A case of modern man. Infertile hybrids replace naturally grown lost data. Should our species go extinct? Humanity, a thin line in layered strata. Each individual an end product. Put in stores as brain food to begin. Such with plants. They'd otherwise not become remembered again. Fighting it out with reserves on empty. As the siege sets in dangerously. No rescue anywhere. The long wait on an adversary tempestuously. Down to sea level, ready to ditch. Finger on the trigger for a last shot. Holding out to the last minute. Giving it everything you have got. Industrialization more harm than good. Partly what a world war has done. Friendly and familiar view of poverty. Back to family life raising young. But for the sake of making ends meet. Impossible saying in a verse. People go hungry. Depression setting in and making matters worse. Work is hard to come by. The adult world on some permanent vacation. When subsistence is time consuming. Becoming more of our situation. Still the world is turning. As usual we look at our younger generation. Last laugh at the 30s. What pictures say of a difficult era again?
What the ale, skipping the hops. Brought from the United Kingdom to us. Only reason to make that trip. An old country drink. Where it is from. Drink brew and have it too. If you're not too drunk to get on the bus. And read the label. You'll get over it to Los Angeles from London. Watch your step. Becoming too comical when all that's thought of is fun. Go with the flow. Your mind expands to grow. Let your imagination run. Does creation require intellect or simply luck and a very long dial? You're stuck with purely human. When intelligence isn't artificial. Without use of mechanical reproduction. You're left with only one print. Or an impression of activity. That which was copied and the actual event. Like a Renier in the French climate of art. That took quite a while. Won't come round again. Likely aspect of a single painter's style. Hence a motion picture rings around still photography or painting. Started in basic black and white. Expanding shades of gray breathing. As shown in the 1916 film Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. Next stage becomes virtual reality. More 3 than 2-dimensional. Old school has attraction. Composed of one-framed stills mostly untouched. You get the feeling of moving through time spans of history once more. Combined to cover different happenings on a canvas with oil as such. Add the sensation of what is to happen next. All that is in store.
The point of emulating incidents. Applications of human creative skills. In a manner the recording boasts. Both victor and victim that it fills. Clinging to realization that real rests on improving the facsimile. Even more or less exact. Copies made individually and artificially. Inventions come about quickly. So much success, we take them for granted. Sub above the modern generation's age. Computers, airplanes and cameras. Seen by many. From cinematography to pictures on a cave wall. And yet through thoughtless destruction some are unknown to all. Popularity sets a height in vanity. Thereby becoming an actor's originator. Go on to complete the rhyme. Given to the things done most naturally. Don't become famous if it kills you. Left in the mind of its creator. Propose the character you wish with full intention in that degree. Upon which edges of reality rest. Hosted on clouds as castles in the sky. Get there by imagination. Further to travel physically than mentally. At length everything is free floating. In program simulation try. As all who live are destined to die. We shall be there eventually. Progression in evolution with no limit or boundary. Sets till then end. Rising above the murk and shadow. Watchers wait to judge surrounding. Lingering and unmoving in layered impressions. As new realisms begin. That each may count its apparition. The views are all astounding.
Each aspect requiring choices. Part of the complex, unending natural game. Creations of some living entity or not. No 2 views are ever the same. Such that a life has renewed or continuing realization to you or me. Comes time to digest and understand its meaning. That may not be. Can't keep its secret forever. A game with mysteries to become unlocked. We had a same beginning. A carnivore's surrounding or a tiger its prey. Under scrutiny again smart friend. 2 sharp eyes. Like being watched. Left below us to descend and consume. I'd guess we're on the way. Each to its own destiny. Under the control of nature. Its laws therein. Shows us where there is gravity. More so any results that are occurring. In the crowded debris of a nebula. Another generation of stars begin. Phase transitions in plasma. Are what the photos are conferring. Like that upon which an open ocean rests. In trying to give its best to start. may be assumed in wave properties of light. There's a force carrying part. Medium in which phenomena are taking place is perplexing, at least. Indignant as to the outcome. Top to bottom become increased. That which is evidenced in the fossil records becomes database to a past, though incomplete for the most part. More examples are emerging at last. By adaptations to a fin, complex forms emerged and tried to stand. Would it have been some other way than from the ocean onto land?
Fixed to geological scales. Thousands of years, hundreds of generations. Any attraction to something soft. Points where straight lines fracture. Length of time required to form adaptation through natural selection. Scholarly skin turn feathered scales. The plumes are an eye catcher. Permanently divided. We won't get there due to mortality. In the least. Outside our dimension, so to speak. A peculiar awareness to every beast. As such it has an end. In the heart of the singularity. There to begin. In frames of space-time. Eternally divided beyond control of men. Stick to our solar system and light speed. Numbers don't lie, people do. The Earth-like planet here is certain. And a galaxy full of stellar dust. Unique in itself with solar companions. From a common nebula to, say, in one lifetime. To get there. Too far to another star for us. Stop to study the photons. Turn on a time machine so it runs backward. All falling into one same infinite depression. Digressing to their source, that describes the quark's origin. And nature of black holes, of course. Assume that they are from the same point where manufactured. The time it takes for that to come about fills one with an anticipation. A new era dawns in understanding science, assuming we're fully steamed. Cars, computers and space technology progressing like new machines. Break it into letters, fully describing that which was mentioned.
Staring at plasma screens too long. Brains perceive but do not understand. Think places you'd like to revisit. Inkling to remember, get it right. Far east then down under. No point arguing again. Give up the fight. You have been sober too long. Whisked away to some foreign lands. Get with it, lads. Rub it in. Differing letters that we had forgotten to send. Distraction to varying degrees tap at you. From past into our future then. Someday when you're ready. Needless to say we'll be back again. That progression fits into 40 frames. An unending mind bent. There was a point in portraying our beliefs. Nothing is realistic anymore. Pointed messages proclaiming what's understood. Broken minds to mend. Vast mountainsides to grassy meadow. Endless vistas we have to adore. The people who sailed there. Where aliens had visited we pretend. Just to get over a few hurdles. You would stay spaced out, needless to say. Your brain turns to flubber. Always was and continuing to be that way. Mushrooming pandemonium proclaims. Details are laid out scantily. You're still asleep. As if the last impressions are that of fantasy. Off a barstool fool. Living fast and hard then staggering, dying young. Wanting to return to an old existence. Rest of your life barely begun. Move into another vast plane. With all their brains completely blown. You sit in wonderment of it all and wonder. With no use to go home.
A long line at the store waiting there. Nothing to speak not already spoken. Calmly losing patience again. The promise sworn to keep finally broken. It's a new day. As life goes on. Everything you see clearly shown. Those trees you planted and children you raised recently grown. Only to those who want it. The path of the sorceress beckons her sheep. Somnambulistic dream of psychedelic captivation. A long restless sleep. Forced awareness beckoned to pursue enchantment in merriment of color. Sensory detection causing light to bend. Individuals know no other. Purpose of propagation keeps complex life set in heartbeats of a species. If you can imagine, it will happen. In an infinity of possibilities yet, waiting indefinitely for events to occur. Continuation this thesis. Given a lifetime then. Needless to go on with it. I wouldn't bet. Fallibility of artificial intelligence. Attempts are pointless. Nothing is perfect. You will not get there. Your maker created that to become hard. No closer than us. That similar to us. Evolution is never correct. What is known? Very little. As nearer we are, further that star. Someone else's ideas speak. A crystallization of thoughts ring to tone. Poetic nonsense set to a steady frequency. Far from truth, near to home. Betting with an idea to bring us closer to reality that's not attainable. In ways which are both made to make us happy or sustainable.
Transitory illusion only. Real or unreal, realize it's not the question. Expropriated to degree it'd fit into a picture frame on tables to sit. Synthetic cleverness devices led to new actualities is here admit. Roll up your sleeves. Not claiming to be anything but suggestion. Not heaven or hell but more like earthly concern. Living a dull detention. Between divine and ignoble. Stuck at a dead end. Our lives to mention. Afterlife in the living as a gift or punishment. Nihilism has its meaning. As eternal is beyond understanding. Good and bad convening. What exists beyond mortality electrically is totality minus your energy. All requiring a current. The flow of electrons in an excited profusion. That it amounts to nothing is incorrect. Next to the sum of all memory. Similar to random access in nerve centers. Not totally human. Next door knocking on thin walls. The blue city lights behind it clouds. Time can't go backward. You would have thought it at least would last. Understanding another person, your neighbor. People live in shrouds. Life goes on into the distant future. Never returning to the past. Nonetheless, that always happens. Repayment of deeds never expected. What you get for that which was handed out. And when least expected. That is what behavior is all about. To think you are on the receiving end. It comes as part of nature. Good or evil, be it enemy or friend.
Companion in need, a partner indeed. Come on with it to the last sentence. Through behavior understanding people in nature. Marriage not to mention. Compatible in one to another. It's tough as the heart and get going. To the last minute detail. Any borderline that you are going. Equal produce a blend. A strength in the replica to reproduce in the end. That would make a good match. Our vital organs are the same to start. Take a good strong look at teeth. Erasing your skin from light to dark. Then trumpeting out the long messages. All differences to mend. Tensions now in unison. Wanting to fulfill an exciting entertainment need. Awaiting their performances at last to begin. Drifted away on unholy weed. Enamored by a friend's occupation of their lovely stomping ground. A special bend up on stage putting out some thunderous sound. Drifting away on some special lat. Wishing your long awakening to stay. Early in the morning. A new sun is rising. Once again a brand new day. Remembering far gone, older times. In which you were still very young. Try it, you'll like it. A bite of bitter caffeine on your tongue. Boys to herald a quick rising sun. Everyone looking to find someone. Anytime, day or night. Awaiting first morning's light. A blue sky begun. Picking up your favorite instruments. The ready waiting crowd to stun. Those not merely listening to sound but just searching for fun.
Don't neglect your health. Exercise regularly knowing what pain may mean. Fantasy that nullifies reality becomes truth. Harshness of life it soothes. Give reality chances. Living your dream doesn't mean living in a dream. Health can become your wealth. Is what that always proves. Turning 3 dimensions to 2. Sit still, you're waiting for a train. Only your maker recognizes it's you. Till there's no time it remains. Product of artificial intelligence. Recycling gravity makes us flatter. Life's an illusion hints. The in and out of information as matter. A timekeeper spins upstairs. Mental clockwork keeping time with gears. Ticking off each minute and second. Reminding us of our passing years. Keep step to the imaginary pendulum with legs to which it is attached. Those who have been around long enough to remember distant pasts. They have eyes too. Paranoiac is what you feel. If not a board, then it is a tree. Here what you are viewing is looking back. Every circuit that we can see. As people or intelligent machines. even our computer screens, watching all of us, hidden behind a monitor and not even seen, not created by natural selection, artificial intelligence or intelligent design. It's what robot assistants are up to. If asked which one you'd decline, designs to replicate one another, assembling matter one atom at a time, put together to hand you coffee, not asking for a dime.
Designed electronically to keep a sluggishly growing company in the green. It comes as no surprise when your last assistant manager was a machine. A concern must become faced looking for useful individuals as crewmen. Like people and paychecks that can't be replaced, it's inhuman. There is much to do on the planet Earth. Work on projects where we evolve. No reaching distant solar systems. Exploration of space is too involved. Taking people to planets does not help much. Hide as soon stay home. Wishes to explore dwell in everyone. From mysteries to be known. Product of survival and chemical recombination. Designed to match a host. But process on bacteria. A billion years of evolution gone to waste. Some are beneficial, others harmful. Lactic pines in milk are traced. We have adept likes. Ones that harm us are pathogenic foremost. We're subject to entropy. Death by thermodynamic increase, even machines. Equipment result of a maker. Same as us. Similar sense of causation. Prolonged, inevitably protracted longevity requiring all automation. Inanimate yet seemingly, most part, living results of its dreams. Why you let him work for you? That trusted advisor left to carry out a task. We must view life like that in some ways. We all have a model and mentor. Harebrained yet intelligent. Whom you trust, no question to ask. You're a joke. Made to be laughed at by some almighty inventor.
We stare out at the stars, only to find how tiny and insignificant we are, suggesting it's not worth mentioning at all. This planet is that small, adjusted to an angle or point of view, like an atom in a grain of sand, beneath colossal feet of some giant beast on which it stands, underground beneath the sea, immersed in a big green and blue bubble, where the pandemonium aroused a spark in the population struggle. The stars of mankind emerged, but to make it stand for double trouble, most of it was left so beneath waves in a warm, brittle, salt huddle. That erasing feeling that the decomposition will eventually be found. Suddenly it arrives and the realization that you're stranded on ground. We're hovering near the surface. Something else, it's a ray emergence. Looking from another planet. An eye in the universe, its appearance. And that is what was left. On the once plentiful land. Promised of course. Haven given its nice. Behold a great behemoth horse. Given as a steed at his funeral. The General Bengali gave his last commandment, and, if it for once to stand, only for one moment, in that foreign land, for little more the cruelty it has cultured. Just repeat it, you are beat. Describe them as confetti or what you want, strewn down Bourbon Street. Identify moments of turmoil between blocks. If you must call me fast. There will be heard sounds in key of the 4 long periods at that.
Absorbed by its deep mystery. Caught in glamour of knowing upward bound. For the first part of this plunder into caverns at night in the dark surround. Recalling the first chart. Nothing lasts past the distant clouds above. Last swirling of night air in the rich darkness hereof. There is intelligence. It isn't directed. Caught in the nerve shock across cells. Jolted free by stretching. Dangling like a loose neurological connection. From its nucleus the arms connect with other nuclei detection. Waiting cross the plane dry parts in couples the story tells. Though in truth, all legal isn't just. Lofted by saints, they are in reverse. Eeriness of the evening carried into apartments. It's why most Fords rust. Washed in retrospect by oceans. For flying to a distant universe. Buildings stacked like seashells. Things legal aren't just. There are no consequences except for the future. And luckily that is right, for a simple answer to the question. Within a mind in which you can meld. Connecting with one another. Brought together by voices and held. Kept tightly, longingly forever. Not given up without the fight. Only the rest. More of the eagle. Soaring before performing landing taught her. It seemed like the winged sonata, a kind of floating up ritual with wings. Distance landings of a stork, soft and wide descending over water, shortened to convey meaning of the lovely flying things.
What's worse, it's a matrix. Thousands of points, specific values as colors, faded to a shadow. It gives a value, interpreted exactly by no others. Close it down, close it gets. You see raised margins as jagged ledges, hanging on in extra color squares, with pigmented outer edges, lasting and ending a program number of times, even odd, at that depends. Last of a sequence, woven almost in a pattern, interlocking and tying the ends, continuing on unended, an extended and ending complex mixture of quilt. Take one step ahead, touch and feel it with your guild, waiting to ascend, like weeks off we want, at last sight floating sphere. For time to mend, probably one project, make ends meet for another week, and then one more time again, stepping ahead to get a sequence to a seat, on the driver's side, step on it, to a filling station here, push ahead the next block, sit and stare at something, it isn't looking back, from another corner of the street, up she comes, straight to point blank, and not refusing the casual occurrence. Outcomes of the outdoors happening at. That's nothing implied. All understood thoughts at. Looking back now, there is recognition. Feeling acknowledgement of the event. Held for a while. Then it all moved ahead 2 frames. Another message sent. Timeline forward and back. You don't accept it. Other than its fact. Surroundings in color. And more speculation on that act.
That living gives up the ghost, so to speak. It will happen in every beast. Raining in galaxies with simulated knowledge ability of what is out there. No missions except to compare, analyze and speculate as to where. Mere comparison as longevity stacks itself against you at least. The more you look at it there is to behold. A guest in gold best guess. To unlock it. Top of the hill. Possibly build depending you're getting old. So to pick up a new key and have it engraved. Creating a brass mold. Then troubled because baseline preceded creating the whole mess. Because for that to intersect fractionally it would delay sales awards. Now in church windows. But wonder then at plate glass. A fractaled glare. Tilted and reversed. Upside down and right side up then run backwards. From behind the light source comes an intelligence of intensity. Accepted as grace, psilocybin hallucinogen alkaloid. Look at magic mushroom. Storage space was impossible. All stored on floppy drive in living room. It was a lovely time back in the 80s except computers were slow. A network was blooming back then. But what so did they know? Fully if there were a water source, shaded of rain. Late on in the season then. In the realm of Apple where every control move is another case again. Shinning in the summer. Still in shinning color. Whisked away water. Pasture and meadow unfurled beneath an observer brought her.
Set in regression moments. Two-sided the next. Looking toward each other. The suspects pretended not to mind. Just 97 seconds till impact. Left to dry in the sun. And set in paint. Plastered to a wall, brother. Annihilated out of stone. Most professionally presented intact. Holding always to something. Talking all the while excuse for the group resale. Just holding still to rest there. Again, looking up, it's better not to exhale. Sign in lights passed out on side of the road. Looking up at best. That last piece of utility. Becoming tested to reset. Red and black set back to back last equation. Getting public those eyes. Taken conscript document in text file. Hypertext transcript device. Not that all are as resolute. A steadfast fellow would know and wow. Bring it down a low sentence. Then present and end. Any minor key now. That is why it makes a difference. Were there a reversal in the first place? Replacements are not required. The original still working order. In the first place. There's no requirements for that. It's working experience. But first, have you ever been undergone percipient? That is in a key. Hit it once. Move over twice. Oh, wouldn't company be so nice? First, there is an enormous sphere surrounding a rotating spark. Rotational surrounding. Picked up the first notes as sharp. In octaves on piano. Held as a candle. Carried of as the next useful device.
Lent to the light. No tripping its laser straight angles. Take the step to a dance. Robotization taking charge in transistorized circuits. Shown that it was less. Completely modernized without flaw. Clean and flawlessly enhance. Once more samples of revolutionizing a same process. Putting on a party scene for love of plants. Shortly after she put something on. That is set to get it bumping. After the realization about pickles. Of all the great times these were involved in. Part of it tickles. On so the fixed love story. Piled in stacks and volumes at dawn. Out toward billowing clouds. In part getting with it dog. No, it's drawn to roll. And if needy. To take an important break. Before it come crumbling soul. Leaping lazily down the hillside in front of me. There it stops flat. Take a long backward look at it. Uphill going back. Slowly tilting backward. Accepting the protracted time lapse into the next noon. Only for a still longer wait to change than on the street. Going nowhere soon. Staying there the live long day. Another chill in the window comes. Not everyone waiting to beat of many distant drums. Into the depth of Noor. It comes only in retrospect, that is. That time before. Sending us signals backward. At times I would forget only to waken. Then it's lay on the floor and await an owner. Barns for livestock making. To our last tractor to tow an efficient combine truck for.
It will comfort you some. That aching back to a piece. Back to next line. That's what it gives. That thing you've got. Staring at it is not fun. Disconnect final drive to tow 2 tracks back. Set to the first one. Right side forward, then left side 2. Ease forward 1 at a time. Placified by something living. Enough room to breathe through still atmosphere. Floating in the high clouds of the morn. Still a rainbow in sky up here. Taking in a feature, it's a poor fungus. Existing here beneath the night. Shaded most the time. Not dried out by direct sunlight. As so she sleeps and rests. Beneath tired eaves of night on dry canvas. All of the time on lookout. Set out in the evening to find a place of rest. That is very hot. But still not the thing we wanted. To be dry and safe for a visit. Inside the window at least. Living room all set the way we want best. Life, light and lightning at night to shade of the cat. Requires dark shades. So take it you are now on the lookout. Ever the excuse is to share time. Out of darkness. Prowling excuse for a meal. You were right, mates. Seems to blend in shades. And what more makes sense to a rhyme? Keep toking sailor. Stand and wait the long gale. Pay no attention, amphibian. You are still in the city and a mind puffs on. Back at you, flippered friend. Any particular time and moment that you waited on depends. Tell of what feet. Alert eyes that stay no time in hibernation.
The furthest border. Planned retreat. If you are overrun and quickly resort. Looking for storms you know. Would not want to wander blind, no way. Look at our trail up front. Depressions show when tracking you say. Mr. Mushroom and Fairy Princess. No doubt some weather report. And keep those sandals close. But do not be afraid to be barefoot. Have a fit. Don't get splashed as it's all about summertime. Keeping with the fun of it. Go swim in the ocean and have a ball. Anywhere that'd be nice now. Just relax and take it easy until orders. A sham is how. You are wandering out among lily pads tonight for a moonlight walksy. Don't ask questions, of course. That's in case a last resort. Taken infinitely it will be forever. As in question the truth is to become a fort. Barrier at least to stop gunfire. That is not permitted to be. Of all the disgusting planks to rot on. Seem to have grown here remarkably. After time everything is wilted or tilted until it becomes fuzzy but far ahead then stuck in traffic. Because tomorrow's convenient enough. So as to advance and not to fall into the past wholeheartedly. Because every painting needs one. Give that represents something after well. Call it a turnip. Anything you wanted. It sometimes comes as reflex. What are chances it is to become drawn? Any suggestion to the title? Whatever pleases the eye, sense, taste, and friendly touch detects.
Knowing as we wait it hurries an expansion rate. Totality becomes double. Aftermath of cataclysm in the early universe. Beginning of our bubble. No running away. Andromeda approaches us. Few billion years to lucre. Slipping through our Milky Way's fingers. Like a bowl of sugar. Behold a paradox. Mirrored as antiparticles. Reflection of creation each way. Return to peace and serenity. Cast in a still motion. Slow down to stay. From a persection at loose on a day. Blending in mellow confidence. Memory grasping the warm second meaning of the new residence. No sharp or flat. 32 beats per minute. About half seconds. Tip-tap float. Perceived coolness of dark. Hewn in blue. Eyes staring at us from background. The middle of a paragraph that ends in seconds of 1/30th down. 32nd octave of 12s. All an open note. Best not to borrow. But when one has to, well, shut down. Dig another one. Down the borehole a couple thousand feet. Test for rising hydrocarbon. Natural gas sign. Big Texas, all rise. Long time out in the sun. Tested all right. Something didn't seem perfect with our bargain. Phantom moons on Mars. Monstrous gimmick laid play in orange marmalade. The story people always have you tricked into thinking money you made. Hardened into floor coverings. Lines of monsters to do your bidding. But you get the idea. It is a colossal mess as floors keep sliding.
That could become some kind of a waiting game till tomorrow. Get with the sign. Anyway, that might be as good place as any to settle down and unwind. Hiding in a neon envelope beneath purple shrouded, still nightfall. Time to stop and rest. The remainder of the day. So don't stall. Carry 2 in less than tick of our watch. 4 times 4.5 at that. No 78. Got rotation of frame right per hundredths of seconds any rate. Rotate optionally or every frame file in graphics interchange format. It is what happens when you're in 45 state. Assistant locked in internet booth. Set to self-destruct. Turns out the robot. Maybe time for a new helper. Please then, at the touch of a button, no not. Blackened by lack of power. Then explosion of the data transmitter. Hidden in a code to the requesting party. That fit her. The power of stars. The last blast of power. In retrospect, that's all we've got. Collective expression that comes close. It's a winner. Hooray for the shot. Gilded in colorful gold to preserve the print. To another imaginary zone. What is to frame? A time of the year isn't known. Thus is the end of time. But take a glance in the box. Until there is no rollover. Always every day. Only the end of the week. Count backward moreover. But for their hairstyle and hats. No sign after blossoms today. Take a long look at it at least. After you slowly sail far away.
It must counter the weight and then some. Replicant of the last technology front. Aimed at a longer ride as gravity is produced by centrifugal rotation cup. Pickings in space are looking up. As you're standing on a ceiling. With the horizon curving up. Only a loose hatch peeling. So that no way is up or down. Standing no direction. Such is negating gravity. A dance of massless particles. Current catches the lightning peeling. Floating in liquid displacing water. Suspended is more the feeling. Burning out to nowhere again. Caught within the trance, actively. Wherever it is. Nothing pulling us down. Floating onward. Caught up the sky. Toward an advancement in understanding perspective. The reason why. The struggle finally over. Then there's no reason in grappling with it at all. Put it nice. No purpose to ever come down now or fall. This effort is never vindicated. For to tell is to die. The reasons are secret. Only in these fantasies do you see them. Characters of whom you see. Not even suggested. To cost human life. So top secret it can't be. In part to a perfect play. Left to last any watchers who forget. The cat's been out there some time. Should go let it in. Let it find a friend. Something to entertain us. We simply give up. Then turn to a living pet. Not for cats in space suites. All would be lost. What's said by internet? The amount of time they spend away from home can depend.
That strobe light effect in colors. More on blue and green themes. If so, no one guess. It is correct. Alright, let's start and discuss dreams. That gone causing the coming situation. The ears of an owl, eyes in position. Searching for a new country before microcosmic transition. Taken in transfer. So this is almost psychedelic potion for beautiful eyes. The bottom of a clear pool. Not deep but clear. To deep bottom lies. Brought down by tempered wind. No doubt set on destruction at best. More the total analyzation of an aggravatingly slow cruising test. Do not call it wrong cause things aren't permitted in grammar. Make it truly told. It is always coming too close. The sculpted surface faces. Then underworld. Brought close to blue. More purple than yellow going nowhere old. It wouldn't make any sense without language unfurled. Clings to your soul. Hovering there in frozen air. That stabbing pain. Can't get it anywhere. No satisfaction except fire. It too is plain. Exactly how it copies droplets. Depicted in transitioning artistic style. Pointless reasons for creations. Sending others feeling to smile. No telling when left to time. Eternity will never last. Electrically charged friction. To see if you're on the same plane then. Where you left off. Where to begin. Given an electron. Sort of comes as a shock. Little spark charge. Go on now, add some meaning. Static shock at large.
You get the feeling. You're looking at something melted. It's your eyesight. Fellow you've got to see is a doctor. Well, that is some strange light. Staring at my yellow tranquilizer tablet. No need to get uptight. Get going and watch the traffic. Got all mellowed out last night. Not all of it is. How many times you remembered? You have time, just begin. We like it to be happy. To stop asking questions. There's your password again. Goes in one side and out another. Right through you like music. Just when no one is in a big hurry. It'll only make music. Doesn't tell stories or anything. It is a screen used as background for writing. 40 frames in 18 seconds. 4500th seconds apart. Helps to be imaginative or suggestive as well. Still only fighting. Boring except for the aspect change flipping forward in part. Sorry it spilled on your palette. Droplets do that. Somewhat inspiring, confess. In all, an interesting splash. Wherever it pleases you or just makes a mess. Work for people who make new printers. Got to have one of those pics. They are more fun in motion so that you call them flicks. Rotated 360 degrees. That is a collage in 10 frames. Disoriented by it. But not dizzy. More decoration and ornaments to sell. Hard enough to spell. Even more difficult to abbreviate what remains. Cause none were related. Due to some distinct mollifying smell.
Replaced the blanks with live ammo. Can't get your feet to stand on the ground. I would just stand off to one side. Cannot tell which way's exactly up or down. Becoming transonic fast but still has definitely now become found. Just another serious case of narcissus coming around. One more chapter in each paragraph. Still in a very short verse. Manipulated by poetical laziness. Whatever personification infers. Enter your name. This is the place. More about striving for an effect of independence. Another nutcase. Becoming my characters with each sentence. Becoming more massive. A tiny particle held around a huge magnetic ring. The conversion of mass into energy. Also new shower of particles bring. Proton collisions are expected. Rare experiments increase the odds. Talking about crews and what it takes. The army called us squads. What you called the head count by kitchen. Yet another clown in the outfit. All line up for chow now. They wanted things over easy, not hard, admit. Could not take it as a cook either. Then they started throwing good food at me. We all got very hungry after that. As well, you see. A world maybe without her. But there'd be nowhere to go. And no one you like. Know who runs the show. That is right, dear. She won't take a hike. Done in by vanity. Cannot make up her mind. Something is stirring. Get with it, bitch is finally ready. Too well dressed to be working.
Wavelength of the Higgs. Wave equals mechanism divided by its respondent. Physically relentless denoted by h bar. To the photons energy fanatics. Planck's invariant fundamental. Foundation of importance in mechanics. In a basic frequency. Accelerated times the Planck constant. Maybe you should have stuck to religion, magic or miracles rather than science. Quantization of angular momentum is like gravity at the subatomic scale. The weak atomic force, you might say, holding electrons in a veil, assumed rather than observed to be 1/2. That is defiance. Now reduce it 1/3. That it is like a bird's flight, deep into an unknown. That is times pi twice. Looks like the exponent to what ground you are on. Convert this equation for time dimensional. Spin 1/2 of an electron. Landing range and distance to take off overgrown. Counter science seen upside down. Conversational exhibit down the hallway. Get the feeling that you're in it. And a huge carpet spread out the entrance. Pictures stacked up halfway to the moon. No doubt reprint rotated that way. Get less in a lens and more in the finished prints. Not much of it is fluid. What is seen as all liquid medium. Most of it's space. Where everything is set moving apart. Nothing colliding as is the case. What would be the rate change? And do not shout its color, you are right. Wherever your fancy banner or eye-catching light.
Remember which way up. This thing hasn't got gills. Nothing can match it. Get the feeling of this medium. Swim in it. It's down under, catch it. Wouldn't mess with it. Big as a bus. With a very long neck and head. Worst part, it ate so much. To power this bulk, it couldn't be fed. Back in on top. In an admissible past or likely future. Aliens take over Earth. Dried in an arid atmosphere. With pillow-like clouds. What it's worth. The last humans turned replicants. Inevitably for our knowledge. When the tracks ran clear, they were shocked into deep homage. For example, say 5 species. Try and get a representative sample at least. Then go down their list for signs of intelligence. Just one non-human beast. Imagination just ain't beneficial to survival in some cases. Reasons being that they fight for resources that slow time erases. It turns out, they are them, darling. Still lanced into the land of blues. Lost out in the woods on a late date, no doubt. Yes, ill as usual, news. Cautioned in by a bad spirit. So they just kept jogging on. The purple realm. Timing in and out of those circles is completed jargon. Who paid last time? The next round's mine. Get someone else to pay the bill. And making sure everything balanced even again. Common hunter's skill. Here comes the next round. Here it comes around. Receive some knocks. And tonic elixir completely. Make mine a double on the rocks.
Everything else is here to stay. Even so, hypocrisy unintended in this mess. Do not even pretend to start. Floundering through its meaning is useless. Now the cat's gone away, so go ahead. Enter a new void we're studying. This big picture seems very inconclusive. Some high being. Escape in progress. Watching for it a responsibility. Why we make recordings. Landing right now. Do not listen. Unknown to us. Out in the garden. Warnings. Surprise to law enforcement. Beings from beyond are in our backyard. And must return now to another mother planet to guard. Then it stole a car after being hit. The last time you will hear its request. Oh boy, it's not human. Taken hostage at night, and you might have guessed. It has slipped through bars. How that name got on any registration. What a surprise. Doesn't seem to have a country or nation. Hold up now. More colors to fuse. Droplet down a drain. It still isn't rubbery. Don't go outdoors because it could be raining. If you have a destination. In good times gracing paper. Not worth the ink it took to make properly. And has not lost or been robbed of vital information. In actuality it is not. Only that it arouses suspicion. Rising from black. Could get away from it. Keep running, you never escape what's inevitable. A sense of perception is elusive. What is being observed watching back? In some letter of understanding. It's not even regrettable.
What crimp has the house of many rooms? Eternally wandering new vista. Now don't go on or in. Because enchantment will certainly be with you, mister. And be careful because it was edited. By more than one fool, no doubt. Standing all day by the color listening to the office shout. Ultraviolet effect in purple orange. Walking straight out into all day. From ground level there sure is contact. A pinnacle society made that way. Don't wander off without your suite at least. You couldn't breath. Seems after living long enough you shall want to. What I believe. She smiles and always bends must bow. Believe in this powerful princess. Daughter of creation's mistress. She had been around. Now dismiss this. Better things to while away the hours on. Than an infernal machine. Laid me down a bitter drink as I recall. Pounced on by a dream. Mad, I would have gone there again. Because the air was classic in nature. In blocks and columns to engineered walls and buildings the lights pull. The Byzantine wandering of footloose vagabonds. That ends a player. More of the Roman in design. But still the heraldings of Istanbul. Suppose it plays the violin. Perform other work. I give in. Can't solve equations. And to start, I've yet to begin. That lesson which no one questions. Write more concrete, I'd cement a message in it warning intelligence. That evolution isn't just nice. It is life affecting hence.
There is no point in returning to our beginning. Because it was made that way. Your efforts to effect it are minimal. And there isn't much else you can say. Our maker goes back a long way. And perhaps yourself as well. So how old you are to begin with? That's really hard to tell. Get with it, media. Tell what this is mostly about. Big Bang or Big Boom. All we old hipsters want is suggestive music. To first fill our room. Say it is only a rhyme or that's a note. Last day of the week at last. Go on and listen to it anyway. Each of us are related to the past. Yet for all the transient work, no alone is enough. A bubble in the universe. Surrounded by yet more balloons. Interpreted through this simple verse. There are, very simply, no ways of testing it. As a provable hypothesis. The multiverse stands unprovable. That is the consequence. All flaunted. Most our sheltered lives are not far from crowds. Gone to get away. At expense of our head. Yours or theirs. Crowds wave their fists. Hiding in disillusionment due to lack of prosperity. You might say, why'd they go there in the first place? Common sense insists. Watch out for another. To begin any correlation, sum it up in a sentence. Don't get sealed in any airlock. Our circus focuses on consequences. It shuts behind you and interlocks. Step into one with suits on. It cannot always be reproduced by correction, except in one direction.